What is going on, guys? Jesse here, and today we're back with one of my favorite series, the Desk Setup Tour. Because I mean, at least for me personally, I find it really interesting to see what stuff these YouTubers who have access to all these kinds of different tech items actually keep and end up using in their day-to-day lives. And of course, I feel like having a dope desk setup that you can kind of make your sanctuary does a lot in promoting your productivity and just making doing work suck less. Because if you work from home and have to spend hours at your setup anyways, why not invest in making it a nicer place to be? So I've done a couple of iterations of this in the past, and for the most part, the general vibe of the setup is similar to last time, but I've upgraded a lot of the items in the setup since last time I showed you guys, so I'm pretty excited to share them with you guys in this one. And of course, all items mentioned in this video will be linked in the description below. So as usual, let's start this off by talking about the desk itself. So this is the Fully Jarvis L-shaped standing desk, and I love this thing. If you've seen any of my other desk videos in the past, you'll have heard this before, but after switching to a standing desk, I just can't ever go back to a normal one ever again. They've done studies and they found that either sitting or standing for too long isn't the best for your overall health, so the key is to get something that allows you to switch between the two positions. I really like this one because it's huge and just gives me a ton of space for all of my stuff. And it's got these alloy colored legs that cost a little bit extra, but I think was well worth it because they look sick. It's also got these casters on the bottom that make it really convenient for me to move around anytime I need to. The only issue with standing desks though is that the cable management is about 1,000 times more difficult. Since the top of the desk moves up and down, you'll either need to provide enough slack for all the cables to be able to move with the top of the desk, which would be an absolute mess, or just attach everything to the top of the desk. I went with option 2, and I did my best with this cable management tray and these adhesive cable management loops, and I also mounted the PC under the surface of the desk, which has its own set of challenges, but I'm sure you guys will have a great time roasting me in the comments. All right, next let's talk about the chair. And this I think is probably one of the most overlooked part of most setups. I always find it kind of funny when I see pictures of these people with these super dope desk setups, but then the chair is just like the disposable plastic ones with a little pillow on it. And I'm just like, bro, my back hurts just looking at that. So here in my setup, I've got the Herman Miller Aeron, and to the untrained eye, I know this just looks like a normal chair, but look it up and you'll see that this chair is about as famous as a chair can possibly be. I used to have the Embody also from Herman Miller, and you guys know I love that thing, but it just retained a little bit more heat than I would have liked, and where I live, it gets pretty hot during the summer, so I decided to pull the trigger and get the Aeron when I saw a good deal on Facebook Marketplace, because it's mesh and you just get maximum airflow. And so far, I've been really loving it. Just like the Embody, it really encourages you to sit with good posture, which definitely helps with back pain in the long run, and it's just really high quality. Like, you may look at the price and go, why would anybody spend that much on a chair? Which is fair, but Herman Miller products are known to last decades, so as long as you take care of it, I think it's very worthwhile. And now moving on to all the tech in the setup, I've still got the hybrid Mac/PC setup going on with both machines displaying on one monitor. And I won't go into detail in this video on how exactly I got that set up because I have a whole other video explaining it step by step on how I got this working already. So I'll have that link down below the like button if you're interested in that. But kind of the centerpiece of the whole setup has to be this monitor. So this is the LG 49-inch Super Ultra Wide. And I forgot the exact model number because monitor names just suck, but since getting this thing, I have been absolutely loving it. So it's got a 32:9 aspect ratio, making it the equivalent of having two 27-inch 1440p monitors side by side, just without the bezel in between, which is perfect for displaying two systems side by side like this. And not having a bezel in the middle means that if I want to focus on using just one system at a time, I can just have one computer take over the whole thing, which is incredible for stuff like video editing, where you can really take advantage of the extra width. One of the downsides of a monitor of this size though is the weight. It weighs like 30 pounds, so if you want to get a separate monitor arm or stand, you're going to have to spend a little extra to get one that's super sturdy and can handle the weight. The one one I have here is the Ergotron HX, and it's expensive, but it's super solid, and I really like the freedom that it gives you with the monitor placement, and kind of makes it look like the monitor is floating, which I think is pretty sick. So on either side of the monitor, we've got the speakers, which are the Kanto Tux, and these are the newest addition to my setup. I've had my eyes on these for quite a while now, but I was a little bit hesitant to pull the trigger because, just warning you guys right now, they are expensive. But honestly, after getting them in hand and listening to them, I have zero regrets. Although I wouldn't really consider myself an audiophile, I do enjoy good audio quality, and these guys seriously sound incredible. Like, just chef's kiss, like, so good. I do also have these paired with the Sub 8, also from Kanto, but it's totally unnecessary. The Tux have really great bass just by themselves, and they're still very enjoyable to listen to without the sub, but sometimes I just really want to bump it and feel whatever I'm listening to, and the sub delivers on that. So the sound alone would have been enough to make these a win, but they also just look so good. I feel like speakers are usually a purely functional item, and you would rather not look at them if you didn't need to, but these things are just like 10 out of 10. Whoever designed these just needs a raise immediately. And paired with these stands that are also from Kanto, you're just having yourself a time. Okay, so next let's talk about the keyboard. This is the iQnix F97, and it's a mechanical keyboard from a smaller enthusiast brand, but it's built like a tank and it's hot swappable, so I was able to put in my own new switches. So now in here I've got the C3 Tangerines that I lubed and filmed myself, and even though it took forever, I think it was worth. I've also got this backup keyboard just for if I want a different typing experience, and it's the ASIO Cascade Slim. They sent this to me for a video a while back, and if you're into the slim form factor mechanical keyboard thing, this is a pretty great option. And I'll throw in a sound test of both of these guys in case you're wondering what they sound like. So for the mouse, I'm using the Logitech MX Master 3, and this thing is just a classic. If you're into desk setups enough to have clicked on this video, I'd be pretty surprised if you haven't seen this thing before. And it's popular for a good reason. It's just a really solid mouse. The way that it's shaped is very ergonomic and has super useful features like horizontal scroll, which is amazing for video editing, and it lasts for over 2 months on a single charge, which is awesome. Probably not the best for gaming because it only goes up to like 4000 DPI, but other than that, I think this is a pretty easy recommendation to make. Now jumping onto the other side of the L here real quick, we've got my iPad Pro on this magnetic stand from ChargeN Pro, which I think just gives it a really nice futuristic minimal look. And under it I've got an Xbox controller as well, just for when I have time to game a little bit. And next to that I have my current headphones of choice, the AirPods Max. And I know a lot of you guys are probably going to call me an Apple fanboy for this, but I am just a huge fan of these guys. Honestly, one of my favorite Apple products of recent times. Just like everything from the design to the sound quality really hits it for me. And while they aren't perfect and definitely aren't a great value, I have no regrets picking them up. The headphone stand, if you were wondering, is from a company called Grovemade that makes some really high quality desk accessories. You'll probably notice a bunch of other stuff on the desk that kind of matches that wood and leather aesthetic, like the desk shelf, desk mat, and that sort of thing, and they're all from Grovemade. They sent this stuff to me for a video a while back, and I've been really enjoying how it adds to the whole vibe of the setup, so check them out if you're interested. I've also got a couple of chargers on here. This white one on the left is a MagSafe charger from Belkin, and honestly, I don't really need this thing. I just got it because, well, I thought it looked cool. But it's also a super convenient way to charge your iPhone, Apple Watch, and AirPods all at the same time on one little station. On the other side here, tucked under the desk shelf, I have the Nomad Base Station Pro, which I really like because it's a free position wireless charger, meaning that you can put your device anywhere on the surface and it'll charge. Like, you don't have to line it up exactly with the charging coil. And usually I just use this to charge my other devices that I'm reviewing at the time. Right now, that's the Pixel 6 Pro and the S22 Ultra. And I guess last up, let's talk about all the lighting on the setup. And I think this is also another area that people really overlook in their setups, because you'd be surprised how much of a difference it makes to the feeling that you get with good lighting versus bad lighting. So behind the desk, I've got this Philips Hue light strip and play bar behind the monitor. And basically this is just to light up the wall so that the contrast between your bright monitor and the dark wall isn't so much, which will lessen the strain on your eyes in the long run. I've tried out some of the cheaper alternative smart lights before, but in my opinion, it is worth it to spend the extra for the Philips stuff because it just gets a lot brighter and the colors are just a lot nicer as well. On top of the monitor, we've got an update to one of my favorite desk accessories ever. This is the BenQ Halo screen bar. So basically, this is meant to light up the surface of your desk while remaining as unobtrusive as possible. And this year, they've made a couple of updates that make it even better than it already was. So first of all, they've added a light to the back of the lamp as well, so you can light up the wall behind your monitor like we were talking about earlier. And we've also now got this wireless controller that will work anywhere within a meter of the lamp. And you can use that to control the brightness, temperature, and that sort of thing. I did notice that sometimes it is really difficult to get it to wake up though. This top part of the lamp is also now flat, which is important because it means you can now place a webcam on top. And they even sell a separate accessory so you can hook your webcam on there more securely. I felt like this was good enough though, so I didn't end up getting it. And speaking of webcam, this huge one that I've gotten here is the Anchorwork B600. And this thing is pretty cool because it's sort of an all-in-one video conferencing solution with a built-in light bar, speakers, mic, and just everything that you need to make those Zoom calls. And also, if you're wondering, these prints on the wall are just some pictures that I took while I was in DC for the Cherry Blossom Festival, and those are in some IKEA frames. Anyways, that's what's going on in my setup for the first half of 2022. Hope you guys enjoyed and found some inspiration for your setups at home. As always, thank you so much for watching. Like if you liked it, sub if you loved it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!